to the Flashing Black.
Moving
And
along.
Speaking of the
our,
90s.
our Flashing Black is going to be on Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. Now, it came out about 20 years ago. It came out in June of 1996. Classic album. So, this is an album that is heavily debated to this day because a lot of people don't like Jay-Z, man. So they tried to kind of slight it. They were like, well, people wasn't calling it a classic when it came out, but if it still have an impact 20 years later, how can you not call it a classic? So we going to get into that. First question I want to ask: when was the first time you heard Reasonable Doubt? Because I know a lot of people didn't hear it in '96. Some people heard it after Volume 2, The Hard Knock Life, when Jay-Z really got big, and some don't went back and checked it out later. Some people actually got it in '96. Or some people might have just maybe skimmed through it, but really didn't pay too much attention. Because '96 is one of the best years in hip-hop ever, by the way.
Word.
So many classic albums came out in '96. And Reasonable Doubt at the time kind of got lost in the shuffle because Jay-Z really didn't have a name like that at all back then. So I'm going to ask Miss Baba first. When did you first hear Reasonable Doubt? Did you hear it in '96 or did you hear it a little bit later?
No, I heard it in '96, and I still remember because I'm sure a lot of y'all know I grew up in a very strict Christian household. Like, there was no devilish music to be played, right? So I would act like I was listening to
And then from there she became a DMX fan. Wow, just
Well, DMX prayed on his albums. What you mean?
My mother was not having that, but yeah, I tried that. That didn't work. Even the Lots, they had one song, and I was like, "Oh my, look, they talking about God," and she was like, "Get that out of here." But in any event, so I remember because I used to try to listen to. I would blast gospel music and act like I'm practicing for the choir. Then I'll try to sneak and put my headphones in and listen to some Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, especially. Oh, man. And ever since I first heard, I've literally been blasting it for, all this time. This is one of the only albums that I still have on my phone, actually downloaded on my phone, and I listen to it on a day-to-day basis. So that's how much of an impact it has had for me.
Wow.
Way better than Machiavelli, I should say.
We not going to do that to out.
Well, at this point, it's a whole lot of stuff better than Machiavelli, right? I mean, this is a 2.5 mic album we're talking
That's
about
true.
here. I mean, you listening, Miss Baba listening to Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em More. I mean, at this point, I mean,
that Nature album might have been better.
I'm done.
Miss Baba pulling out Rappin' Do and Rappin' Do Da Ha. She pulling that out. Slapping in the whip a little bit more than Machiavelli, I'm assuming,
No. Now, B, did you listen to Reasonable Doubt in '96?
For me, I got on Jay-Z early. I'll tell you my journey quickly. I was a huge Tupac fan. Tupac got into this big, huge beef, and everybody he dissed, I bought their albums. So the only one I didn't buy was Nas, because I heard they had the station, The Box, out here in Chicago, and I saw the video, The World Is Yours, and I totally was in love with that song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I bought Nas.
Did you buy Chino XL album too?
Now I'm about to catch you in your little fib right quick, because that's not the only album you didn't buy, because you ain't buy Machiavelli's album either. Oh, you forgot about that.
No, I didn't want to tell everybody. I didn't want to tell everybody I shoplifted albums. I didn't want to repeat that. I wanted to make it seem like, okay, let's just say I got a hold to it.
Okay, there you go.
I got a hold to the album. So, in '96 I got a hold to Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt.
Before you go on, I want to ask, because you said you bought everybody album that Tupac did. Did you buy Chino XL album too?
You know what? I never knew Chino XL had an album, but I did used to get hold to his freestyles. And I did like his freestyles.
You know I'm Mr. Random, and like I got all these random CDs. I got 2 Chino XL albums. So I'll just throw that up.
I'm gonna be real. His family members ain't probably got both of his albums. You could probably sell it back to his mama, because his mama probably ain't got 2 Chino XL albums.
Yo, Chino could rhyme though. Chino was nice.
I loved his freestyle.
I didn't like his. Like, he go off beat sometimes. I didn't like that. But, yo, as far as the lyricist, like, Chino is a lyricist. But continue on. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, so I got hold to the Reasonable Doubt album since, Ms. Baba got me out here incriminating myself.
Statute of limitation. You good.
Okay, yeah, statute of limitations, right. And I was flat out in love with the album. Regardless of the debates we had before about it, I just don't feel like it's better than Machiavelli. But that is not to say I don't feel like it's a classic album. That's not to say that I wasn't totally flat out in love with it. I used to be arguing with a lot of my friends who wanted to diss everybody that Pac was against, especially after he died. That was anybody, man. They ain't even want to see their face. How dare you? You know what I mean? But I was trying to tell him, man, this Jay-Z album is cold. I was trying to tell him, man, this Mobb Deep Hell on Earth is cold. This Nas, it was written, it's cold. You know what I mean? Even Biggie's Ready to Die, surprisingly enough, that was, well, no, I got that earlier. I got that earlier before. Okay, never mind. I ain't going to say that. No, I didn't get that at that time. I got that earlier before. But, yeah, I was totally in love with the album. It's a classic. It's definitely a classic album. It was disrespected by the source by getting 4 mics. But at the same time, if I could be a little constructive with the criticism on it, it did kind of play on the back of Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links with the lingo, the talk, the mafioso, Goodfella, mafia, Italian mob, tied energy that was going on heavy in the mid-90s. And so, I think it was underappreciated because when you're talking about the pinnacle of what was classic at that time, you had Nas, it was written in Illmatic, you had Biggie Ready to Die, and then you had Only Built for Cuban Links. I think that would probably be the pinnacle of classic. And Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt might have fell a little short of those. And so I think it was overlooked at the time, but I think over time it got its value based on the subject matters and everything that was on the album. Jay had a good way of talking about the game a little bit more unorthodox than everybody else. So I kind of appreciated that.
Right. I think it took time for people to realize that Jay did it his own way. But you are right. He did kind of build from Only Built for Cuban Links. Illmatic too, because even though Illmatic is a different type of album, you can still feel some of the Illmatic influences on it. Even on feeling it, Life is a Bitch, Then You Die. Like that was one of Nas, one of the classic songs of Illmatic. Sampling the dead Nas voice with the Dead President thing. He took that into consideration too, and of course, Ready to Die. So he did draw on that, especially because, Jay-Z style used to be different. He used to rap faster, like in a faster type of tone, earlier. So, yeah, point taken. My journey to Reasonable Doubt is this. I did listen to it in 96. I remember when I first heard of Jay-Z, it was right around 96. Because my brother had his album. But I used to confuse him with AZ. Everybody used to say Jay-Z. I was like, do y'all mean AZ? So I used to think while I used to hear Jay-Z with people talking about him, I used to think they was talking about AZ and not Jay-Z. You know what I said? So then I finally heard him. I was like, this is not AZ. But then I got into it, the first song I heard was really off of Reasonable Doubt was Brooklyn Finest, because my brother had the album. Because I listened to that and my brother bought it off the strength Biggie was on it, because my brother was a huge Biggie fan. So we brought that, and I listened to it. Then I ended up buying it myself. So I always liked Reasonable Doubt from the first time I heard it. I didn't necessarily call it a classic. I was younger then too, so I didn't even really realize back then exactly what a classic was. But I just always felt the album. It's always been one of my favorites from the start. So we're gonna do what we did last week with Machiavelli. We're gonna go song by song, and give it a rank from 1 to 5. What y'all think? So let's start off with track number 1. Can't Knock the Hustle. What you give that, Meek?
5, definitely.
I concur.
Especially with Mary.
I mean, when that album first came on and that was the first track, Daddy got a nut and he got a nuttin'. Oh yeah, I was okay. Yeah. All right, I making sure the song goes with the level. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we finna get it started right. That's definitely a 5, no doubt.
Definitely. I concur. I agree with both of y'all. 5. What about Politics as Usual? Ms. Bob.
5.
I give it a 5 as well.
Yeah, I get that a 5 too. I love the beat. Man, I love that beat.
He has so many slick lines in that. When it comes to this cheese, y'all like 3 blind mice. What? The way he started off, the way he just started off the song was just ill, man. He has so many witty lines in there. The beat, I love the beat, everything about it. Definitely a 5 for me.
How they trick that stylistic sample. This way is. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they flipped that hard.
That was 5.
Definitely. What about Brooklyn Finest?
5.
Arguably my favorite track on the album.
Yeah, and like I was just saying, this is the reason, because of this song is probably the reason I even heard Reasonable Doubt in '96. Because like I said, my brother was a huge Biggie fan. I think the only reason my brother bought the album was because Biggie was on it. So, that was a good move, and they went back and forth in it. Now let me ask y'all, who do y'all give the better performance on that song, Jay or Big? Because that's been debated too.
You know what? That's a really hard one, but I would have to probably say Big, but that's only because of I'm just trying to be respectful. But you know what's so crazy? I don't honestly think that one necessarily outdid the other. Their flow together was just so. It was just so New York. It was so Brooklyn. This whole album was, but that song specifically, yeah, that was the illest. That was the illest.
I probably have to edge Big on that one. I think he was a little bit more seasoned. Although Jay had a lot of, you don't know how many people I told short sleeves are bare arms. You don't even know how many people I told that. But Biggie kind of he was in his bag in that one though. He was in his bag.
What I think Jay had the wittier lines. Just if you're going by pure lyricism, I think Jay was better. But Big had it all together in that, the lyricism plus the flow. That by that time, Big respected his flow. So, I might edge Big just slightly.
Right, it's an edge. But all of us when he said when Faye had twins, she probably had Tupac. I know everybody's looking at the radio whoa.
Word, get it too.
That was hot. Man, that was hot. That was hard.
But you know what though?
Yes.
But you know what though? Another reason why I edged Big a little bit on that song, because Jay did a little bit of he kind of did a little cowardice with that. Because the last line he had that Most Hated in California line at the end, and Jay edited it. You know what I mean? I don't know if everybody knew that, but yeah, if you look at the behind the scene on them doing that track, Biggie, the last track was the Most Hated in California, and Jay took that out. So that's a little bit of whole stuff. But,
we gonna get into Jay. Jay had a few shots throughout Reasonable Doubt. A little bit at the West Coast, even at Pac a little bit that don't really get talked about, or at least always wondered if it was a shot at Pac, but we get into that later.
Yeah, inform me because I don't know what this is. You got to tell me that. That even went over my head. That went over my head.
Yeah. Maybe
you
I'm
me
mistaken.
Jay out there
but
spitting Miss Baba bars? You telling me Miss Jay out there got Miss Baba?
Now we'll get to it. We get to it. I believe it's the last song of the album. Maybe I'm just hearing it wrong my whole life, but let's get into that later. Let's stick to the script. All right, we got Dead Presidents Part 2. I give it a 5. Although
that's a 5.
I'm not sure if it's better than Part 1 because I love Dead Presidents Part 1, but it's still a 5.
Yeah, I gave it a 5.
Yeah. Did you like Part 2? Do you like Part 2 or Part 1 better of Dead Presidents?
Part 2 got a special place with me, so I'm gonna have to go with Part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I love
it's the one I first heard. Yeah.
All right, I love Part 1 though. I love Part 1, man. I still got the first verse completely memorized. I could spit that verse like it's my verse. You know what I'm saying? So I love Dead Presidents Part 1. And you know how you like something so much that you go Part 2? I was like, man, sometimes I think Whippy would have put Part 1 in the album. But, I love Part 2 too. Both classic. So, after Dead Presidents, I think it was Feeling It, wasn't it?
Yeah, Feeling
It. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, I give Feeling It a 4.
A 10.
I give it a 4.
Yeah, I agree. I give it a 4. The energy kind of died a little bit with Feeling It. Yeah.
What?
It's still a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song. I give it a 4. It wasn't super, super crazy, but it's a great song. It's kind of like we did Machiavelli album last week. Like, you know how we did Machiavelli album last week review? I gave Live and Die in L.A. a 4. Kind of like that. It's not super.
Right, exactly.
It's not
a
super
bad
crazy,
song.
but just a good song. Yeah.
Right. It's kind of that album filler transitioning song, you know what I mean, before the energy pick back up and,
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a song you skip
all the way. Nah, Feeling It was all the way a 10. Like, I don't even know how y'all giving it a 4 right now.
We only grading it to 5, but you're giving it a 10.
Yeah, that song right there, that's like a 10. Yeah. I'm sorry. That is a 10.
I'm not mad. Like, you want to give it a 5. I'm not mad at that. I like Feeling It too, but for me, it's a 4. So, next we have The Evils. I give The Evils a 5. I just love the storytelling in that. It got a dark feel. I like the Snoop sample. I like the Prodigy sample on it.
God, I wonder if you save me.
Yeah, love it. I love that.
So that's what we're gonna differ at, because I don't feel like I never liked that song that much, and I know that's crazy, but I never liked it. I think that's the influence. I think that's the influence of the East Coast versus being in the Midwest. That's one of them tracks that you'll feel if you out in the East. If you out in my area, you ain't gonna feel that track like that. Like out East, y'all like a whole lot of them gritty, dark tracks like that. We don't like that out here. And I give you an example. Nas, It Was Written, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel like Taking in Blood is the best track on Nas, It Was Written.
Yeah, I love Taking in Blood. Woo! The beat.
Again, perfect. I like it, but the beat, I don't like the beat that much.
What?
Yeah, it's a different. I know it's cultural, man. It's cultural. I know what it is. It's cultural. Out East, y'all like them dark tracks like that. We don't like them out here like that. We don't like those tracks like that. We like our tracks a little bit more soulful.
All right. To each your own, I guess. But what about the storytelling in that, though?
It was deep. It was good. If I was to give it a ranking, I give it a 4. I give it a 4. I wouldn't give it a 5 though.
Man. Okay. Man, all right. 22 twos. I give it a 5.
Jay straight went in. 22
bodied it.
5.
Yeah, too many West Coast dick. Okay, yeah.
Too much West Coast dick licking. But you know what? I didn't think he was taking a shot at. I took it as he was saying like, it's other people like the magazines doing too much West Coast dick licking. But I don't know. I guess it's the way you interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 20.
That's probably another 4 for me though.
What? Oh man, a 4. He bodied that, man. Too much black and too much love equals forever. Too many niggas ride mine. So I switched. So I changed styles every 2 rhymes. What? He bodied it. Then he came back later with 44. This is the thing you have to always.
This is the thing you have to remember when we're judging these songs at this time. Okay, you have to remember it was written. Only built for Cuban links. These things were on constant repeat in my head. So you got to remember this when you're trying to say what Jay-Z was bringing. That's all I'm saying.
All right, but I think you could compare. That's a different discussion too. I think Reasonable Doubt could compare to all those albums. I don't think you might like those albums better, but I definitely think it can go up against them, and you can arguably debate them. But you know, that's me. But before I move on, did y'all heard 44 Fours before, right? That he did later. 44 Fours was a monster. That was a monster too. He did the same thing he did with 22 Twos, except he did with 4. Yo, that crazy. Now, next song is might be my favorite Jay-Z song ever, man. Can I Live? I just love Can I Live? Like, those 2 verses, man, like, yo, this might sound crazy, but yo, those verses actually helped me through life, man. Like, I quote them as motivation. Like, yo, I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how I own it. What? Like, I say that all the time, and just following your dream. I don't say it the same way he did it, but it's just like always stuck in my head. I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. Man, I love Can I Live? I give it
that's what I'm
absolutely 5.
Yeah, that's a 5 for me.
Now, let me ask you then. So, would you prefer Can I Live or Can I Live 2?
Oh, not even a question. Can I Live? The original.
Right.
Yeah.
Me too. Same here. I have to give that a 5.
Yeah, we'll get to Can I Live 2 in a minute because I think that's the song he took a little shot at Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get to that. That's the last song of the album, but absolutely a 5. I just love the way he started off. Like you know, the everybody that said it by now, but you gotta remember in '96 when it came out, watching every nigga watching me closely. My shit is butter for the bread. They want to toast me. Like, at the time, I was like, oh, shit. You know, keep shit get tedious. So I keep one eye open like CBS.
What? Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that was my line right there. That was my line right there.
Man, Jay was just spitting so much. He was dropping a little bit of street knowledge in that too, man. Like, you listen real closely. It wasn't like nothing. It wasn't like a Nas type of knowledge, but just little slick stuff like there. You know. Yeah, man, I love that song. So next up, we got "Ain't No Nigga," and I'm sorry, it's not a bad song, but I gotta give that a 3.5, and I'll explain. But I'll let y'all go first.
Oh wow. You know what?
I'm gonna have that one to 4 points. I wasn't really, and that's just off of Foxy Brown.
4.75.
Yeah.
You might as well just give it the full 5. You gonna do that?
No, it was still an ill song, but I have to take some points to the Foxy. I've never been like the hugest Foxy supporter, but and I know everyone's gonna go crazy on me, especially my New York people. But I've never been like a real big Foxy fan, so.
No, that's reasonable. Although I do love her Broken Silence album. Her Broken Silence album is underrated in my opinion. I do like that album. But
I like that album too.
Yeah.
I like that album
too.
too.
So what's your grade, Meek?
I'm gonna have to give it like a 3.5, somewhere in that area.
You said wow. I thought you was gonna disagree with me.
No, I wasn't. I was wowing at 4.75. Like,
okay. Yeah. And
how did we come with that score?
Exactly.
But my problem, just quickly, my problem with the song, even though I like the sample, because I know the original song, you know what I mean? I like how they tricked that sample. My problem with it, man, Foxy spit too long on it.
That's what I'm saying. She took away.
Right, she took, like, you got Jay with nice 2 fire 16s, and then Foxy get on, she spit for like 2.5 minutes. And it'd be like, by the time that your energy was like killed, by the time she's done, you know what I mean? It's just too long. If they would have just done that and just shortened her verse up, then I think, you know, we would have been on.
Or just taking her verse off altogether, that would have been good.
No, her verse wasn't bad to me.
It just needs to be shortened.
My thing about Ain't No Nigga,
or silent.
I like. Here you go. My thing about the song is this. It's not that it's a bad song. Jay had a lot of slick lines in it. I like a lot of the lines he spit in it, but to me, it doesn't fit on the album. It's out of place. You know, it kind of like Jay-Z does this a lot in his albums too. It's kind of a theme. He always have a song that's completely out of place. A good album he have. He did the same thing with The Blueprint.
I agree with that.
The Trackmaster song, the Jigga Jigga, that nigga Jigga, that did not fit The Blueprint at all. Like it didn't go, like, it really throws off the rest. It doesn't throw off the rest of the album because the rest of the album is classic, but it doesn't fit the theme of the album. Like, yo, you should have left that off. It doesn't fit. You know, he kind of tried to force songs sometimes. That was
supposed to be his, like, radio banger.
Yeah, I understand that, but it just doesn't fit the theme of the album to me. Like, it's like you listen to all the rest of the songs of Reasonable Doubt, like even Feeling It fit the theme of Reasonable Doubt. Ain't No Nigga doesn't fit at all. It's like it's totally like misplaced on the album. You know, he did the same thing with the Black album too, with Change Clothes. Change Clothes did not fit the Black album. The rest of the, like how the album went together, Change Clothes is the outlier, just doesn't go. It doesn't go with it at all. So he does that from time to time, and that's chasing that radio single, that radio play or whatever.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
So that's part of the reason.
The thing is, it never works. Because even if you like catch his live performances, he like never performs these songs. He never performs Jigga Jigga That Nigga Jigga. He never performs Change Clothes. He never performs Ain't No Nigga unless he's doing a Reasonable Doubt anniversary thing or something. You know what I mean?
Right. And now all those songs, Ain't No Nigga probably the best out of all those songs. But yeah, still, it's kind of like similar too. Nas do it too. Like with Stillmatic is a classic. Like, Stillmatic is one of my favorite albums of all time. But Braveheart Party did not fit that album at all. Thankfully,
Braveheart Party don't fit nobody's album. That was just horrible. That was one of the worst Nas songs ever. Oh, my God.
Nas lucked up because now, because I guess they didn't clear the sample, they didn't clear the feature with Mary or whatever. The versions now don't have Braveheart Party on Stillmatic. It makes the album much better that Braveheart Party is off it, you know.
Right.
But that's
and I always ask, why didn't he put Uchi Wally on Stillmatic? I'm still trying to figure that out.
Because it was on that Queensbridge album, Uchi Wally.
That's the one that should have. That's the one that should have been on Stillmatic. Put that damn Braveheart Party on the damn on that QB Finest album. Or whatever it was. It was on the QB Finest album, right?
Yeah, it was on the QB Finest album. And the QB Finest album didn't have Nas' verse on it. It was just, Jungle, Wiz, and Horse without Nas' verse on the original one. Nas added his verse later for the radio.
Yeah, when they hit the radio, right.
Yeah. So, after Ain't No Nigga, man, that's the lowest grade I think gave a song of Reasonable Doubt so far. I might have skipped. I think it was Friend or Foe after that. I might have mixed up the order, but Friend or Foe. I gave Friend
Oh
or
no,
Foe.
you had the right order.
Okay, yeah. Friend or Foe. I gave Friend or Foe a 4.5. Nice, solid.
That's a 5.
Yeah, that's a 5, man. Friend or Foe is the shit.
I give it a 4.5. Not quite a 5 for me. Not quite a 5 for me. But a 4.5. Good, solid.
But that's the way to have
almost.
Point for you. What do you mean?
Well, for me, I heard crazier stories before. Like, I like the storytelling and all that. I like the beat, but I didn't heard crazier stories. It was a good story, good lyricism, but 4.5. 4.5 is not bad.
Yeah, it is.
No, I guess I feel like it's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, like Mikhail, you heard crazier stories than Friend or Foe before, right?
Right, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's when you was talking about like the 22 twos and stuff like that. You gotta understand, Nas had already put a standard on storytelling. You know what I mean? So it was a standard. So it's like if it ain't that good, and then you talking about what Raekwon was doing, I can see your point. But the thing is though, the beat was crazy. How he ended the story. You know what I mean? So ever come around here, no. That's why I give it a 5. That was my joint.
Yeah. Okay. Then we got Coming of Age with Memphis Bleek. I don't know. What y'all give that?
I like that one. I give that a 5.
A 5? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Again, this is Ms. Baba thinks Heavy D's album is better than Tupac's. Like, so we can't.
Nah,
all right, so
I never said that.
She think Will Smith Millennium Will is better than Tupac.
That's disrespectful.
2.5. I'm gonna always remember that one. No, I give Coming of Age. I give that like a 4. I get like a 4. I'm on a 4 with that one.
I agree.
Good.
I give it a 4 also.
It was good, but I really was not impressed with Memphis Bleek. I've never been impressed with Memphis Bleek though.
Well, I don't like Memphis' voice. I don't think he got a crazy voice, and his lyrics never been the craziest either. Bleek was okay. Bleek wasn't a. You know what? You know what's crazy? I don't even want to admit this. Nah, I ain't even going. Yeah, I shouldn't. Fuck it. I admit it. Fuck it. I got 4 Memphis Bleek albums.
I was about to say, go ahead. Tell them how many.
Oh,
yeah, I got 4.
Memphis Bleek kids ain't got 4 Memphis Bleek albums.
Yo, I even got his Actually, I got all his albums basically because that's all the albums he had. Even that last album.
Though, in fairness, the understanding was alright though.
Yeah.
The understanding was alright.
Was cool. Coming of Age was cool too. His third album, I forgot. I don't even remember the name of his third album, but the beats was fire because Just Blaze did all his beats. Well, not all of them, but a lot of the beats on the album. So the production was just really good. Bleek always had very good production. So even though his rhymes might not have been the craziest, the songs, a lot of his songs I could still listen to just because of the beats and a lot of the features and stuff. So you say what? I
said don't front on Memphis Bleek.
I mean, Memphis Bleek ain't from the Bronx or nothing. I mean, what you said? He ain't from the Bronx.
I'm just saying, he's not all bad. Like, he's really not
from
all
Marcy,
bad.
We didn't say he was all bad. We just saying he wasn't that crazy. He didn't suck. And he didn't suck, but he just wasn't.
Okay, let's be real about this. Okay, let's be real about this. Jay was a giant. You know what I mean? And you would figure his predecessor would be crazy. I mean, Bleek wasn't crazy.
But that's why Coming of Age was so like real and realistic because he was stunning Memphis Bleek the whole song. That's why I like it.
That's why you like it.
Okay. Here's the style. A G, I ride for you. I ride with you for free. Like, this nigga was just on his nuts. Like,
Well,
he was literally just stunning him the whole song. And then I was like, yeah, that's exactly the role that he played. Like, I don't know.
I didn't take it as some sunning him on the song, but, you know.
I did.
Hi. All right.
I ain't
now,
never see it that way, but okay.
Yeah. I didn't either. Yo. Nah, like, I think what you, like, that part where he said he'll ride for him for free, he wasn't saying that, like, just to be on his nuts. He was just trying to show Jay that he's not in it for the short-term money. You know what I mean? He in it for the long term.
I get it.
That's not sunning. That's not sunning him, though.
I get it. But no, listen, like, what I'm saying is that, like, the whole flow of the song, right? It just, like, you can definitely tell, like, who was the mentor and who was the teacher. I mean, who was the mentor and the teacher? Who's the mentor and the mentee?
I mean, it should have been like that. What, Jay's, like 12 years older than him or some shit?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you clearly saw that. And that's exactly the roles they played. And that's why I love the song. Like, it wasn't like Memphis was trying to be something that he wasn't. He was in his lane, and so was Jay, and they just rocked with it like that. And I appreciate that.
I mean, again, in comparison to, that's why I don't get a song of 5. Simply because, again, as I thought about it, I said, okay, is this your attempt to try to bring your own kind of Ghost face in a certain way, the same way Ray had with Ghost? See, Ray brought Ghost in, but Ghost was crazy. I mean, he damn near took Only Built for Cuban Links over. I mean,
yeah.
So, you know, that's supposed to be your protege. I would figure it'd be a little bit more crazier. But for the most part, it's a good song, though. It ain't terrible. It ain't whack.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
a
a good song. Next, we got Cashmere Thoughts. I give Cashmere Thoughts a 3.5. It's slick lines, not a bad song, but I'm not crazy about the beat. You know, it was
I feel
okay.
the same way. I'm gonna agree.
Yeah,
with
I'd
that.
have to give it a 4.
4. That's fair too. I could see a 4 because he was spitting.
The worst song on the album.
I could see that too. Yeah, because Jay was actually spitting on there. Just, I don't know. It's something. The feel was off on the song for whatever reason. Even though the lyrics wasn't bad, Jay actually had some witty stuff on the song. Just, I don't know. Something was missing with that song. Can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it was just the beat. And the fact that I didn't have a hook.
The beat was so ill.
I wasn't crazy about it. But, and the fact it had no hook, it was just him and his man talking through it, you know. I don't know. The feel was off for me. That's about it. Now, next we got the joint with my man Sauce Money and fucking Jaz-O. Like, every time I think about Sauce Money, I think about that garbage ass album he dropped. You know what I'm saying? That I bought, man.
You bought it?
Yes, man. Like, I remember the day I bought it, man. Like, I remember it. Like, I remember the day like it was, like I had a kid or something, man. Like, it traumatized me. Like, buying that album really traumatized me, man, because I was so excited, right? Like, I had just started a job, right? So, you know, with my little job money, I got, it was one of my first checks. You know, I wanted to buy some Air Force Ones because that's what I used to wear back in the day. I wanted to buy some Air Force Ones and and get some music, man, because I used to like buying music. So went to the CD store, right? And I bought 2 albums. 2 albums. One, I bought the CD. One, I bought the cassette. I bought the cassette of the Marshall Mathers LP, the Eminem album, which I'm not the craziest Eminem fan, but I bought it. It was okay. A little bit overrated, but it wasn't a bad album. A little overhyped.
Way overrated.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Yeah, not the craziest, but I bought the cassette of that. I should have bought the CD if I was going to buy the CD of Sauce Money. The album's called Middle Finger You. I should have known from the title it was going to be trash.
Because
the title, Yeah, but I had faith, man, because Sauce Money can actually rap. He's not a bad rapper. That's the thing. Sauce Money can really rap, man. He can. And he won the Grammy for writing for Diddy and shit. So I'm like, man, I bought the album, man. One song wasn't feeling it. I'm like, all right, that's just the first song. Yo, I wasn't feeling one song the entire fucking album, man. Like, yo, I was so disappointed. Then I was like, all right, man. I was like, all right. I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a second listen, man. I tried to listen to this album 4 times, man. And out of the 4 listens, it did get better. I'll end up liking one song out of the 4 times I listened to it. And I never listened to the album again, man. Like, I was so disappointed, man. And this is how bad the album was. Jay-Z was on the album, right? Jay-Z spit the worst verse he ever spit in his life on that album, too. I was like, yo, Jay. I was like, even Jay is trash on this shit, man. Like, Jay-Z the Jay-Z verse was trash, man. It was trash. I'm sorry. No, it was Jay-Z's second worst verse. Like, his worst verse he ever spit was on the Little C's album. Like, because I bought that album, too, unfortunately. The Wonderful World of Caesarito. That's another fucking terrible memory, man. Like, I was in Toronto. Like, we went to Toronto, me and my mom, man. I bought that album, man. It was higher because it was in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, yo, that shit was trash, yo. Jay-Z spit the worst verse ever on Little C's album. And the rest of the album was trash, too. But anyway, that's off subject. Sauce Money spit a fire verse on Reasonable Doubt. Jaz-O did his thing. Jay-Z did his thing. So I give it a 5. I'm sorry, man. I just had to get that off my chest.
Well, we're going to let you do your venting. But I'm going to give the song a 4.5.
Why?
For one reason. And one reason only that I'm still bitter about.
What
is that?
Let's put this out in YouTube land on the internet. Nasir Jones, why did you turn this song down?
Yo, crazy that you say that because
that beat was fire.
Oh my God.
Nas would have tore that track to pieces, and he turned it down.
Yeah.
Why did
what
you
makes
do
that so funny is the fact that I was just telling somebody earlier today. You know how long I went listening to this album before I realized that Nas wasn't on it? Or that song until I realized Nas wasn't on it? I swear to everything I love, I thought Nas was on that song for like 2 years. 2 years straight.
I mean, Jay basically was stalking this dude to get him on that damn song. And he didn't do it. And I'm trying to figure out why. This is before he was banging his baby mama, right? So who was the bitterness for? Like, come on, man.
Well,
if you just would have did the damn song, then Jay probably wouldn't have done that.
I think Nas just seemed like he got that type of personality if you don't really mess, especially back then. I think he's a little bit more open now than he used to be. Actually, a lot more. Because, before he used to be really aloof. So I just think that, he didn't really know Jay like that. And maybe wasn't that impressed at the time. Because you remember before Reasonable Doubt came out.
He did songs with CNN. Mobb Deep. I get Mobb Deep. That was
they from the hood, though. They from Queens. So is CNN. They from Queens, too.
Is that what it is? But he did something with Nature.
Nature from Queens as well.
No,
right.
Nature from... well, never mind. Yeah, Nature from Queens. I thought Nature. Yeah, Nature from Queens.
Yeah, I think he moved to Brooklyn
so
later.
So was it a Queens versus
Queens.
Brooklyn thing, or?
I don't know. He might not. He might not just been impressed with
his boy was AZ.
Nah, maybe he heard Hawaiian. This is probably what it is. He probably heard Hawaiian Sophie fame and just like, oh, that nigga, nah. You know what I'm saying? Because you remember that Hawaiian Sophie fame thing was kind of like some Fresh Prince type of stuff.
Yeah, it
you know
was.
What I'm saying?
He'll never admit it, but it was.
Yeah, it was like a Fresh Prince type of thing they was doing. So maybe Nas had that in his mind and was just like, nah, I'm not going to
now you the drug rapper when you was just in Hawaiian shirts on a fake beach in front of a green screen doing a little
Yeah.
doing the WAP.
Word.
Now you the
That-
drug
yep.
rap after you was just doing the WAP with Jazz O in front of a fake beach. I got you, dog.
Now, if Hawaiian Sophie would have blew, it would have been interesting to see how Jay-Z career would have turned out if Hawaiian Sophie would have really blew. Like, what the hell would have happened? That's an interesting question. But anyway, next song, Regrets. I give Regrets a 5.
Yeah, I like
me
Regrets
too.
too. Yeah, I'm agreeing with that 5.
Yeah,
That's the number one rule.
Yeah, definitely. I love Regrets, man. Love it. He was spitting some real shit on there, or at least good storytelling stuff too. So I love Regrets. The last song of the album. Now, this is the song where I think he might do a little jab at Pac that nobody ever talk about. Maybe I'm wrong. Can I Live Part 2? Now, before I say what I think it is, what did you give Can I Live Part 2, Miss Baba?
Oh, I give that a 4.
Me too. I agree.
Yeah, I agree. 4.
Yeah, wasn't crazy, but it's a good song. Bleak again on there.
Yep.
So
there you go.
Yeah. Now, Mikael, do you know the line I'm talking about? Where?
No, I have no idea.
Okay, you remember the beginning of the song? Maybe I'm missing. You have an idea?
I said no. I have no idea either.
Okay. Now, in the beginning of the song, he says something. Maybe I'm just missing a reference or just hearing it wrong. He says something to the effect, "I don't even hate on those who hate me. I got Pac on." You remember that line?
No.
No, I don't remember.
I think you just made that up.
Go. Okay. How much y'all want to bet? Put the money on. I'm taking all bets. I'm betting whatever. I bet my whole bank account. Put it up.
It would have been.
Put it up.
Said you bet your whole check. But I'll take bank account.
No,
okay.
Bank account. I'm that sure. Right in the beginning of the song.
You just looked it up.
No, I didn't. I had Reasonable Doubt since '96. What you mean?
I did too, and I never heard that.
Can you quote any line from Can I Live Part 2, man?
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay.
I don't remember. I do not remember. That
I said any line for it, though.
You know what? I remember now. I never really listened to that song like that. Like, to be honest with you, you know what I mean. But I remember.
Okay.
I remember vaguely now. You
remember now, right?
Yeah. It's something about like I got the Mac on or clap on or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't even hate on those who hate me. I got Pac on.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember now. Well, I mean, that's not really a shot. He just saying, he acknowledging that dude hate him. I mean, the thing is this. Let me just say this much. I keep getting these little stories that come across on the internet where people trying to tell us about, like, Jay was ready to go to war with Pac. He had this little thing at the Apollo where he supposedly dissed him at the Apollo that nobody has the footage of. I'm calling BS on all of it. Because you were set up perfectly to go to war with Pac. Owner, Brooklyn Finest.
Yeah. But Pac didn't explicitly diss Jay-Z on song yet. Because you remember when his first on Wax diss of Jay-Z was when Pac was already dead.
Right.
He might have said some things in interviews, but he never actually dissed them on record until Machiavelli.
He dissed them in the interview, and that's what I'm saying. Before Machiavelli dropped and all this, Jay supposedly, again, this is behind the scenes talk,
right.
Jay supposedly did some diss toward Pac at the Apollo.
But I wouldn't be surprised. You know why, though? Because we forget how quickly Pac died. When he came out of jail, because he made so much music, he died, like 2-3 months after Hit 'Em Up came out?
Yeah, I think Hit 'Em Up came out like that May, and he died in September or something like that.
Yeah, Hit 'Em Up was even out that long before he died. Like, cause I know Mobb Deep made Drop a Gem on them before Pac died, but kind of, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of in an awkward position. They kept I'm surprised they kept the song on Hell on Earth after he died, but you know, that's interesting too.